Electric trike buying tips that'll save you money. Stick around to find out what they are. All right, so I've got electric trike buying tips that'll save you money, but before we get into it, hit that subscribe button below. Stay in touch with us here at 630. Be the first to know about all the new content we're doing, giveaways we're doing, and of course, new product releases. All right, one more thing before I get into it. This is the 630 Easy Transit Foldable e-trike, which is linked in the description below, also linked in the upper right-hand corner of the video. If you like what you see here, want to check out more about this one or other trikes, follow that link in the description. You can find them on 630.com. All right, let's say you are in the market to buy an electric trike and you want to make sure you get the right trike for you, and you want to make sure that you save money, or you just spend the right amount of money that is right for you. So let's get into a few tips that I think will help save you money in the long run so you ultimately get the right electric tricycle for you. Okay, first and foremost, to discuss a few things, battery size and motor size are going to be the two biggest driving factors when you are out shopping for an electric trike. The bigger the motor, typically, and the bigger the battery, typically, the e-trike will be more expensive. So it's important as you go out and search for an electric trike that you think about the range or the distance that you will or will not be typically riding. As an example, if most of your rides are going to be under 5 miles, you could probably look for a battery at 10 amp hours or less. Also, if you're going to stick to mainly flat ground or pavement, you don't need an exorbitantly large battery either. Now, I think, having a large battery could be an appealing proposition. Just know that you're going to pay more money for that. And I'm talking, you're going to add, depending on how large of a battery you start to go, you could be talking about hundreds of dollars more as a result of a certain trike you choose. Also, I think sometimes, when people are out shopping for an electric trike, they may gravitate towards something that looks good, looks big, but it could be over-spec'd for your riding, and specifically I'm talking about the battery. It may be appealing to you to have that large battery, but again, if your rides are 0 to 5 miles, you don't need that. 5 to 15 miles, you may want to consider no less than 10 amp hour, up to 15 amp hour. Now, if you're going to really be out there grinding 20 miles, 25 miles on your electric trike and you're doing serious hills, then you may want to look at 15 amp hour, 21 amp hour. 630, we actually make a trike with a 21 amp hour, and then our two other trikes are 10.4 amp hour. What we've found is most trike riders are keeping their rides under 10 miles, and a very large percentage are keeping their rides under 5 miles. And so we want to spec our e-trikes accordingly to not drive the price exorbitantly high, but so we can have e-trikes in the entry to mid-level range to get as many people onto electric tricycles as possible. Now let's talk about the motor too. Same principle. If you're out shopping for a trike, think about the riding you're going to do. Also, you have to consider your weight as a rider in conjunction with the type of riding you're going to do. If you are, 200 pounds or less and you're doing small to moderate hills, I would say you could look at anything 500 watts and 250 watts. If you're doing just primarily flat ground riding and you're under 200 pounds, then under 250 watts or less is going to be enough. One of our other trikes, the Every Journey electric trike, is 250 watts. And we found for riders up to 300 pounds on flat ground, it's great. It'll take you up to 14 miles an hour. You can do everything you want to do. And it's substantially less expensive than a lot of the other electric trikes that are in the market. So it's something to consider, again, if you're doing primarily flat ground. Now, if you are a bigger rider, over 200 pounds, and you're doing a lot of hills, at that point, you're going to want to consider either a 500 watt or 750 watt motor. And if you're also a rider over 200 pounds that's doing hills and doing longer distances, at that point, you may want to consider no less than a 15 amp hour battery, all the way up to the 21 amp hour battery. We do offer that on one of our Every Journey rickshaw e-trikes right now, 21 amp hour battery. But just as an example, replacement cost for that battery is going to be about $1,000 just for the battery for a 21 amp hour battery. Now, That battery uses Samsung cells, which makes it a little bit more expensive because you have the brand name battery cells there, which is another thing to consider. So that is something to also think about, is going to be replacement cost. Batteries won't last forever. The lifetime is going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 years, depending on how often you use it, how you store it, your charging process to make sure you conserve the battery. But at some point in time, you will most likely need to replace your battery. The larger the battery you have, the more expensive it is going to be for you to replace that battery down the line. As an example, a battery this size, our 10.4 amp hour battery, is $350 if you buy an additional battery. Currently, our replacement cost for the 21 amp hour battery on our website is $1,100. And again, that's a Samsung cell battery I'm referring to, that's $1,100. But that is the reality of the cost of these bigger batteries, and why so much of the cost of an electric bike or e-trike is linked to that battery. So that's an important tip if you're out there shopping for an electric trike and you want to make sure you're buying something that's the correct price for your use cases. It's going to be very easy to see a lot of different trikes in a very wide range. You're going to see from $1,000, all the way up to $6,000 for electric trikes. Check out the specs. Oh, excuse me. Check out the specs. Check out the battery size. Check out the motor size. Now, everything else on the e-trike is going to come down to the design principles and what is best for you. I stress when looking for an e-trike, get something that is best for your body. So it's going to be comfortable for you, easy to use. If you like a low step through, so you can easily get on and off, that is something you want to look for as well. Now, there's little other things that are going to drive up the cost, but nothing as substantial as the motor and the battery. But you could have things like a derailleur up here. So if you feel like you don't need gears and you want a single speed, you could look for that option. You'll save a few bucks, maybe $20, $30, $40 off the cost of your e-trike. Our foldable Easy Transit does come with the front and rear baskets. Now, we include those for a subsidized price if you were to buy them on your own. But if you don't want to have those on a trike that comes standard with you, look for something that doesn't come with them. I will say, if it doesn't come with the baskets though, pay attention to how much it would cost you if you'd ever want to add a basket. Baskets are not going to be cheap, especially for e-trikes. Now, you could do a front basket, which would probably range $20, $30, $40, $50. Rear baskets are going to be more expensive for electric trikes, probably in the neighborhood of closer to $100 for something like that. So in addition to that, you have the brakes. Most e-trikes are going to have disc brakes. We have a model with caliper brakes, and again, it's less expensive. Mostly that trike we recommend for flat ground riding. So again, if you're going to do flat ground riding, you can save yourself some money on the specs and not purchase something that's over-spec'd for you. So those are my tips. The number one thing I want you to take away from all of this is just make sure you're buying the specs that correctly align with the type of riding you're going to do. It's very easy to buy something that's over-spec'd, which means you'll be overspending. I don't want to see that happen. Try to perfectly align the specs with what you purchase, and you won't overspend at all. All right, if you have any other questions about buying an electric trike, go ahead and pop them into the comments section, or shoot us an email, theteam@630.com, or call us 310-982-2877. And again, find the Easy Transit on our website. Also, you can navigate, it's linked in the description below. You can also check out all of our e-trikes on our website, 630.com. And we have a 30-day test ride your e-trike policy. If you don't love it in the 30 days, first 30 days, send it back, no questions asked, no money out of your pocket. In addition to that, we're going to warranty everything on it for the first year, parts and labor. Anything goes wrong, we will take care of it. And lastly, we have a Facebook peddlers group with thousands of 630 riders and a bunch of electric trike riders as well. Before you purchase, ask them questions, see how they like their e-trike, see if there's anything they can help you with so you can get comfortable before you purchase. Then once you have your e-trike, post in the group, make friends. It's tons of fun. And lastly, we have an app where you can track your rides, ask questions. Sorry, you can't ask questions on the app. Track your rides, compete on the leaderboard. That's a lot of fun as well. So thanks for sticking around, and don't forget, it's your journey or experience. Enjoy the ride.